What's good?
What do you got for me?
I'm extremely nervous.
That's
I've
all right. You
never
just
done
talking to
anything
me.
like this
You just talking to me.
before. Okay. So I believe that I am afraid of marriage.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 26.
Okay. Do you have YouTube playing on another window or the TV on or anything like that?
No, just the Zoom call on.
Okay. You might want to turn your speakerphone down just a little bit. Why are you
Okay.
afraid of marriage?
I'm afraid of marriage because I was raised in a single home. So
Okay.
I didn't have a marriage I didn't grow up with my parents.
Okay. Your mom wasn't married? Your mother wasn't married?
No, she wasn't.
You have any siblings?
No,
Okay. So you're an only child and it was just you and your mom.
yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and actually, my mom passed away last year, so it's just me now.
I'm sorry to hear that. So you're basically on your own.
hmm
Um, have you gotten any therapy, counseling?
I just started therapy last week, so
Okay.
yeah.
So what was the longest relationship you've had?
Honestly, if I can even classify my last relationship as a relationship, it was only for like 3 months.
I said the longest.
Yeah.
You've only had a 3 month relationship?
It was my first and only relationship that I've had.
Oh,
So
okay. So you're like a
yeah.
femcel. That's not an insult,
Mhm.
but a femcel is female incel. You're
Okay.
involuntarily celibate because you can't effectively date. It's not an insult.
I like that. No, I like that.
But see, when men have this thing of words, but see, there are women who are when men have this category thing going on, they call these guys say this happens because they're socially awkward and this and that. But there is a growing cohort of women who are just the same, under 30. And this is in Western countries worldwide. 30 and unders are starting to not date. So are you still untouched?
No.
Okay. This is when it becomes kind of troublesome. Um,
Oh Lord.
what?
Nothing.
Well, all right. So, what do you want out of life? From what kind of relationship do you want?
I want to be married. That is definitely one of my goals.
Why?
So
How do you want to be married?
why do I want to be married? I feel like it's always been a desire of mine growing up, especially not not being raised by both parents. Like it's something that I always longed for. Like I would say, like, oh, like when I have kids, I want to be married and have a husband and have a father in their lives. Um,
Okay. You. There needs to be more to.
there needs to be more to it.
Yeah, a lot more.
Okay. Um, I would say honestly, like,
Okay, it sounds to me like you are very immature in relationships. At 26 years old, if you've only had a 3 month relationship, um, and I don't mean to be insulting, but it seems far more common for, especially for folks in their, it's far more common for young people today to just be having sex, random hookup sex, and no relationships. So it's not uncommon for women, young ladies your age, to have had several sexual partners and no boyfriends. Do you fit in that category?
I guess I would fall into that category, but it's not necessarily like, um, how do I put it? Like, it's not something that's like an active pursuit. It's more of like, I get to know a guy and I feel like things can develop into something more serious. But then later down the line, they just, want me for my body or whatever. So,
Yeah. You don't make it a requirement either. And you don't make it a requirement that you're in a monogamous relationship and you want to have sex. Well, let's just back up. Let's back up. Rewind. Sketch that. You want to have sex too. So it's not like they're just taking advantage of you.
yeah.
All right. So that's what needs to be said because the way women like yourself tell these stories is you're the victim, other than an active, willing participant in non-relationship, non-committal sex. And the problem is, by the time you get to somebody you might be able to have a relationship with, you've had sex with too many men and you cannot bond. Like if you've had sex with more than 5 men, I'm not going to ask you how many sexual partners you've had, but at 26, one, if you, let's say you lost your virginity at, most people do it at 16 or 18, let's split the difference and say 17. And you had one partner every 6 months, that's 9 years of having sex. That's 2 a year, which is not a lot. That would be close to 18 sexual partners. So there's no real therapy that's going to be able to help get you on track to bond with somebody if you've had so much meaningless sex. I'm talking to you and young ladies. You guys need to stop this because at least back in the day, you had to be somebody's girlfriend before you got laid. You guys are just having sex at a swipe. It's called hookup sex. It's the hookup economy, Netflix and chill. But the way the story gets told is, I went by his house, we Netflix and chill, we hooked up, but it just didn't work. No, you had sex and he never wanted to have anything more than sex, and you wanted to have sex, and that was good enough. I was saying this on Instagram the other day. It is far more common in your generation for people to have sex first and then go on a date second. And that has no, I don't understand how you guys expect to get to healthy relationships with that warped way of doing things. So when I ask you, do you want to be married? You say, yeah. And I say, why? And you basically tell me a Disney story. Because I always wanted to have a blank, a man over here with a question mark on his face. So I could get this feeling that I wanted to have when I was a girl and this picture that I have in my head. Okay. I said, I need far more than that. And you're like, well, what? I'm like, yeah. Like, what are you going to do for him? What's he going to get for marrying you? What do you bring to the table? See what
Would
I
you
mean?
like me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
would
want
you
to. I want to
like me to
know.
answer?
I want to know.
Okay. So I believe that what I bring to the table is my ambition and drive. I'm pretty well educated, and just kind of having like a different point of view, because I view like relationships and things as more of like a partnership. So being able to work with someone, kind of be like on their level.
Okay. What area of the country do you live in?
I live in Los Angeles.
Okay. You're gonna need to turn down your speakerphone because it is
Okay.
reverberating.
Sorry about that.
Okay,
Okay.
young lady. How many kids would you like to have?
Ideally, I would like to have probably 2 or 4.
2 or 4, so 3 kids.
Mm.
And would you like to have to work to pay significant bills after you're pregnant with your first child?
I think it really depends on like
Would you like to
my
have to? Would you like to have to work to pay significant bills after your first child?
no.
All right. How much would a man need to make in Los Angeles to have a stay-at-home wife and three children living a middle-class life? How much would he need to earn annually?
Living in Los Angeles, he would probably need to earn upwards of probably upwards of like 80K annually.
80,000
Yes.
with for five people.
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
80,000. You can barely live by yourself at $80,000 in Los Angeles.
I'm living I'm living by myself now under 80,000.
Yeah, you should have just held that comment.
Oh, sorry.
Young lady, I mean, and I'm trying to be nice. I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but you don't know about this. How much it costs to raise a child. And how many times have you watched my show?
I would say probably like twice
Well,
now.
for what you're talking about, three kids, even living in Dallas, Houston, Austin, Atlanta, where the cost of living is half what it is here, you're talking about roughly $300,000 a year. I'm here in LA. Popeyes, a Popeyes five chicken tender combo here is 13 damn dollars. And it's almost $8 in Atlanta. You cannot raise you're in poverty at 80,000. You would need closer to $700,000 for you to be a stay-at-home wife. And see, I've asked all these questions, and what I'm trying to show is you ladies really have no concept of, well, you're not ready for a relationship. I'm just saying that right now. You need to get your therapy, and you need to get around some grown people, and you need to really mature because the way you talk about relationships, it's almost like talking to a teenager, not a 26-year-old woman. There's no way you could be 20, should be 26 years old and think, you know, that $80,000 just because you can live on what you're making. Because we're talking about your husband would have to replace your income and provide for three children. That in and of itself can't be done by most people in this country without two people working. The men who make the kind of money to support a stay at home wife with three kids are in the top 10% or top 5% of men. And why I said that, what do you bring to the table? You said ambition, this and that. Where do men rank all those? What are the kind of men that make that kind of money? Where do they rank those things with women? Ambition and drive and education. You think they're where do you think they rank those things?
Um, I'm not sure.
They don't rank them at all. They don't rank them at all. If you watch my channel over and over and over again, you are like you're like so many young ladies who've been lied to. You've been sold a fantasy. You've been told that your education, your ambition, your money, and all that matters. Why do you think so many women are angry at me? Because I keep telling women that the kind of men you want don't want that from you. They want women who are feminine, beautiful, inspirational, fit feminine, fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, and submissive. They don't care about your PhD or what money you're making. All that matters after you're attractive and feminine to them, if that man wants those things. Because if you're going to be a stay-at-home wife, what difference does it make if you have ambition and drive? You're not in the work world, right?
Hmm.
So you got a lot to learn about relationships, a lot to learn about men, and unfortunately, your mom's passed, right?
Yes.
Where's your dad?
Out of the picture, I have no information about him. Sir.
So who are your friends and your support system and your network?
Um, I'm very close with one of my cousins who lives in DC,
Hmm.
and I do have a couple of friends out here in LA.
Well, this is where I would always say I don't know what your religious preference is, but you need a community of people around you, uh, because we can't change our family situation, but as hard, as cold as this may sound, the world does not owe us understanding, and they expect us to be at a certain level of development at a certain age. And there's nobody that's going to be able to teach it to you. So uh, I wish you the best, but number one thing is therapy. Number one thing is therapy to kind of a get on track and then understand what you need to know about yourself, what makes you tick, and then also when you're out here dating, you have to understand what men want from women, especially the kind of men who are marriage minded, because those are two different kind of men. Men are either put women into two categories: wives and everything else. So unfortunately, you'll have a support system. You need one because there's a lot of information that you don't have that you're going to need to have out here to be successful at interactions with anybody. But I will say this: until that happens, you need to stop having sex. Stop having random indiscriminate sex to try to feel to try and trying to feel something. That is not going to end well. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one, guys. But, it's a tough one, but it still needs to be said because here in LA, LA eats women. LA eats girls like her up. The world eats girls like her up. No safety net, no father to speak of. Mother's gone. No siblings. That's a baby gazelle on the Serengeti. And for people who don't understand what I'm saying, especially if you're older, you don't understand that I am dead ass serious. It is far easier for modern dating for people are having sex before they go on dates. Hell, you hear him talk about it on YouTube. I'm not gonna take you out nowhere, and I gotta see what that's like. I'm talking about before they share a meal, they shared each other's body. So for the folks who are older, over 40, don't try to make your life theirs. And there are things called fem cells, female incels. That was one. And they are just as clueless about the opposite sex, mating, dating, as men are. The thing is, men get shunned and called weirdos and goofies and lames. Women get overlooked. But they exist, and that's not a small number either. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bring some more folks in. Where are we at right now? 9,500 people. We need to. Oh man, we need to get these. Get the